Hey, and welcome to the Shonen Show. This is the first episode with Lynch, Earth, and Edge. Earth, Edge, and Lynch. I'm Lynch.
I'm Earth.
And I'm Edge, also known as the Blood Edge.
Also known as Earth Dweller for me.
Also known as Tim and Lynch and the producer for a couple other podcasts. But we decided to do an anime cast because, well, on both of the other ones, we didn't really have anybody to talk hardcore anime with. So I figured I'd dedicate one just to the genre of anime.
And it really is a shame. I mean, realistically, if everybody we know, there aren't that many people that watch it seriously.
We have people that watch certain shows like Fairy Tail and a couple of the bigger names, Kenshin. We actually had a little discussion on anime on one of our previous podcasts, but it got for like 5 minutes or something like that.
And you'll have to excuse us. We are probably going to avoid the big four. If you don't know what those are, it's Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, and Fairy Tail. They're great shows, but there's just not a whole lot left to say.
Yeah. Everyone said pretty much everything there is to say about all of them, and there's a lot of other anime out there that are worth noting.
Exactly. We want to get into like the deep down nitty gritty of like the whole anime scene and just talk about everything with it. And granted, the big four are a big part of that. But there's so much more to it than just the big ones.
Exactly. So many underrated gems. And there's a lot of other things anime related to talk about. Influences on culture, both Japanese and American, as well as just, well, everything that goes into otaku culture.
And I think, honestly, I think anime's gone beyond the otaku culture because I've even sat down with my mother and watched anime with her, and she's enjoyed it. My dad's watched a couple. My sister's even watched some, and she's a hippie. She doesn't watch anime. Like, it's really becoming more and more broad and more socially acceptable. Although there is still stigma behind it.
Oh, very true. There's definitely those series that again make people just kind of shut up and take notice. They stop. Mm-hmm. They ignore the fact that it is animated, and they just look at the story. They look at the characters, and that's what makes anime so intriguing.
Miyazaki did it with all of his movies.
Yes,
he kind of transcended the whole "hey, it's a cartoon" type of thing, because he just kept on winning and being nominated for Academy Awards.
Yeah,
and not really winning because fucking Frozen. Fuck that shit.
Let it go.
Get out. I will not tolerate puns on the Shonen Show. Even though did pun our way into the name of the show.
Yeah, we did.
That was our intro there. It's as punny as you get.
Yeah, it is.
Actually, as of this recording, the new fall season of anime just started. And I just kind of wanted to get your takes on new series that have popped up. Because I've only watched a couple of them.
I really have only seen... What was it that we watched the other day?
The one we were watching that all three of us have watched collectively is Denkigai. And, oh my god, with the fact that if anybody's familiar with the show, monthly shoujo Nozaki-kun is done for now, at least. This seems like it's going to fit that void, at least as far as my tastes go.
I have to agree. It is cute. It's funny. I don't know if it's got a slightly more adult tinge to it, which I feel like it does because the first episode was all about Arrow manga, which was an interesting take and kind of weird, but it worked. It was fun.
Yeah, it was definitely really good when they threw a lot of the tropes at the comedy, and I liked how they kind of mixed up the tropes and didn't go straight for that like one trope comedy.
Well, and you got to give it credit. I can't think of another anime that had a slow clap in it. Come on.
Yes, slow clap was fantastic.
The slow clap was good. I did thoroughly enjoy the slow clap. It was unexpected.
I lost my shit when that happened.
But we should actually describe what this fucker is.
Okay, I guess I'll take the lead then. It seems to follow, at least at the moment, just the lives of a bunch of workers of an anime store.
So it what's the genre? Technically, genre of
I like to classify just about everything that isn't shonen under shoujo. So realistically, asking me to give
Yeah, I'd kind of cross-class it. It's a comedy. It's a teensy bit slice of life just because of these weird, quirky characters, but it's also about them as people. Oh, yeah, sorry. It's also them as people. So I think it's a menagerie, but it is down to like a couple of different specific genres, but mixed. But it's a nice mix.
From what they were saying, it sounds like it's going to have a very adult flavor. So I can almost guarantee that what we got a taste of in episode 1, there's going to be plenty more of that to come.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's so good because just the interactions and how much the characters differ, and each one has their own label.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah. The nicknames, phenomenal. And I'm
Somali.
looking forward. Yeah, Somalia was great.
I loved how they called that chick the G-Man.
The G-Man.
The G-Man of Arrow manga.
The G-Man of Arrow manga. Yes, that was quite
Christ. Who's in the galley? Well, Shonen I guess.
good.
but-
Yeah. What does BL stand for? Oh, that's boy love. Is that what you're into? To the one girl. What's her name? The little blonde girl.
Well, I can't remember her name.
I honestly, it's still the first
that
episode, so I don't
Hyotan?
remember. I don't remember all the names.
I can't remember. Or was Hyotan the redhead?
We'll have to watch the next. Well, when we see the next episode, we'll.
You have the we have the interwebs.
We do,
can
we can look it up.
We can look up names.
On a sidetrack though, we did mention Monthly Shoujo Nozaki-kun, and for those of you who are possibly curious, that is a anime about a teenage boy who is a shoujo manga artist and author, and a girl in his class is trying to ask him out, but missteps and asks for his autograph and finds out that he's this manga author.
Yeah.
And shenanigans ensue, and it's a good time. It's a really fun, quirky anime.
It's one of the best anime that I've seen because it takes the tropes and it spins them on their head.
Oh yes, certainly.
It doesn't follow any of like your usual anime tropes. And it was such a breath of fresh air for the anime genre, where you didn't have this gaggle of girls going after one guy. The harem thing was just pretty much non-existent.
Done.
And it's been so overplayed
it's so
in recent
overdone.
years.
There's so many goddamn harem anime nowadays, and I just can't stand it anymore. It was a breath of fresh air into the world.
See, I will argue, because some people absolutely hate the harem idea. The moment there are several girls after one guy, they immediately lose interest. To me, if it's done well,
yes.
that is exactly it. If it's done well, then I'm fine with it.
But the problem is you have to wade through so much shit to find that one that's done well.
Exactly.
If we're going to talk harem, my favorite harem is actually reverse harem, and it's Aran High School Host Club.
That's a good one. I was reading the manga for that one. I didn't.
The manga is good. The anime is phenomenal, though.
The anime's not bad. I'd have to say my favorite harem probably also has a mix of a whole bunch of other genres, but it's gotta be We Without Wings.
We Without Wings was a bizarre trip, and I enjoyed that immensely. Thank you, Edge, for getting me to watch that one.
Oh yeah, it's...
What? Oh? There wasn't any specific one that jumps out in my mind for a harem one, other than like Aremo, but that's more
I'd count that.
Siscon and
Yeah.
Brocon.
I never got into that one.
But it does have like the harem style to it.
Vibe.
Well, the
Then
girls
there's-
are into them.
Yeah.
But actually, the one that I really did actually enjoy was Tenchi War on Geminar.
Oh yes.
Never saw that.
It brought Tenchi back to what it was
Okay.
originally.
Wait, is that the robot fighter?
Exactly.
Okay,
It took
I've seen a couple
Tenchi
episodes
out
of
of
that.
space and put him in Mecha pretty much.
Yeah.
It was neat because, to me at least, Tenchi was too perfect. The character Tenchi. He could do everything. He was the Superman, so to speak.
He was.
Oh damn, I can't remember his name, but the main character of that
Kenshi?
Kenshi.
No, of the god awful Galaxy Police
GXP
spin-off.
or whatever?
Thank you. Yes, Sena Yamada. Dear God, he was such a pussy I couldn't stand him. Kenshi is such a nice mix,
well-rounded character
of some of Seina's insecurities and Tenshi's badassness. He can do a lot. He doesn't like to brag about it, though.
Yeah, War on Gemini was fantastic because it really did feel like old school, like Tenchi, where you were in it for the story and the relationships in between the all the characters, and not just trying to figure out when the fuck he's gonna get with Ryoko. Because I don't know about anybody else, but that's how I felt about towards the end of Tenchi, where it was just, when are you going to get with Ryoko? Because it makes the most logical sense for Tenchi to get with Ryoko.
Speaking of, while we're on kind of this same subject, that brings us to Ken Akamatsu. Because I don't think there is a single person that could argue me with the fact that I Love You is probably the only story he's written where I can agree with the love interest.
It's been so long since I read I Love You.
I've never actually...
The girl he ended up with was at least decent to the guy. I mean, it was a good choice. Love Hina. Naru is a fucking bitch.
Yep.
Negima, the whole idea that he's
They Tenchi
ultimately... Yeah, well, the idea that they're pretty much kind of saying, oh, well, we're not going to tell you, but you can almost guess that he ends up with Asuna.
Yeah.
Again, Asuna's a bitch.
And at the end of the series, we all got Tenchi. He didn't choose anyone.
Very true. And that's another thing that Shoujo has done recently.
Especially with the whole harem genre, is that like the mains don't choose anybody.
I know.
No clear-cut ending.
There was a what was it called? It was about a school for high-class ladies and maids and butlers and stuff. I forget what it was called. But the main character at the end of it didn't choose between the main two characters, and they got pissed at him.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I can understand that they get mad. And honestly, he was still dull about the whole thing to the end, which annoyed me. I actually got really... Yes. I got really annoyed. And, but yeah, that one was all about the fan service, though, so that one wasn't as good on the story. But then again, a lot of harem is about fan service, so...
I get the feeling that a lot of these authors have found it's okay looking at, if I had to guess, looking at Rumiko Takashi's work, that it's okay to end with more of the same. And to just say, hey, here's your ending.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, it's more of the same.
Well, I mean, if you're watching harem, a lot of those people are.
Well, yeah, you're looking for that, and you don't want anything new in the genre. But if you're an all rounder, you kind of want more from more substance from your anime.
Oh yes. I personally I do. Like, harem is only good to me when the story and the characters are more fleshed out.
And you don't throw the harem genre at it just for the sake of the harem genre.
No. It's got to be done correctly.
Although that brings me to another point, the whole fan service genre, where that's something that's gotten out of control.
Very true. And again, well done fan service. I've got no problem with.
But when they're just shoving tits and asses in your face for just the sake of shoving tits and asses in your face,
You mean
it wears out very quickly.
You mean the first episode of High School of the Dead?
Yeah. Boobies don't actually move like that.
No.
Oh, well, when you can... Oh, that was episode 5 or 6 when the tits bullet dodge?
Bullet dodging breasts.
It's like, what the
God damn it.
It's like, okay, this is really good. I mean, again, realistically, that is my absolute favorite zombie story. You know, I don't care. Dawn of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead, that beats them all.
Yeah, the actual story of High School of the Dead is fantastic, but just that fan service aspect of it is way too over the top.
Exactly. It's practically killed it, honestly. It's made so many people look at it and see. It's the same idea as Sekirai. When Funimation brought Sekirai over here, they made it as a joke. Here, give me a second, guys. I'll be right back.
And this is where I put in an edit. Because I have the power of edit. By the power of edit.
Because, okay, yeah, here we go. Here is the back of the case for the US release for Sekirai. The top says boobies for the win.
Yep.
Okay, so that's bad enough, but it's okay. Minato had no luck with ladies until the day a well-rounded warrior babe named Musabi fell into his life and crushed his face with her ginormous cleavage. What?
That is not the plot of Sekirai.
No, at all. It's exactly it. There's so many of these anime series that are just kind of almost laughing at it. They're looking at the fan service in it, and they're just destroying any chance that series has of getting a decent following for its honestly good story by just making people think it's all TNA.
Although one anime that has started to poke fun at it is the company that does Gurren Lagann and Kill la Kill, because Kill la Kill is all fan service, but it was very much taking that hard jab at the fan service genre.
Oh, really? I still haven't seen Kill la Kill.
It's so good, and it's such a satire on the fan service thing, because sure, the girls get naked a lot of the time because like they do the whole like costume change thing, which they poke fun of.
Okay,
but the person who shows up naked most of the time in the series is the dude.
Really?
Like, because they have this rebellion group called Nudist Beach, and all of the members are nude.
Oh, my
God. It's such a wonderful poke at it.
I'm gonna have to watch Kill la Kill now.
It's very good. Don't expect it to be wildly entertaining and a good satire on some of the tropes of anime, but don't expect a very good story.
Okay.
Don't go in expecting Gurren Lagann.
Yeah, that's what Edge told me, that it's not Gurren Lagann.
It's something in its own right, and it's fantastic for what it does, but don't expect it to be Gurren Lagann.
I don't think we expect anything to ever be Gurren Lagann ever again.
Very true. And speaking of not Gurren Lagann, hey Lynch.
For those of you who can't see, our viewership who can't see,
which is everybody.
Yeah. He's holding up Cat Planet Cuties, which is Asobi Ikuyo, which is fucking it's worst. It is worst.
Well, I will at least say, first off, I only spent $10 on it. And second off, with the way that they show all the previews, it was like, okay, how bad can this possibly be? It at least beat a lot of my expectations. It's bad, but I have seen worse.
Aw, from the people who brought you Shuffle, I liked Shuffle.
You've actually seen Shuffle.
I'm pretty sure.
Shuffle's
Holy
okay.
shit.
Why?
Not a lot of people nowadays have seen Shuffle.
Really?
Yeah.
I saw Shuffle years ago.
Well, that's when most people who've watched Shuffle have seen Shuffle. It's years ago.
Yeah, again, first off, as I told you, there's not a lot of people that have watched anime based off of hentai games.
Oh, is that what Shuffle's based off of?
Shuffle is based off a hentai game by Naval.
I believe that.
Same way again, you've got Utori Ramono, Tears to Tiara. God, there's a whole shitload of them.
I had no idea Shuffle was based off of
that.
I had no idea. I just thought Shuffle was a very heavy romance story at the end.
Yep. I mean, well, that's part of the reason why I had that like harem element is because you had different routes for each girl.
Oh, yeah. I enjoyed it. It was a quirky, fun story. For those of you out there, Shuffle gets my Earth seal of approval. I don't know.
That's some weird sexual reference?
No.
Hit it with the damn sock. But anyways, Cat Planet Cuties is worse because it's nothing but bad fan service.
And that's
it is
the
a
thing.
shitload of fan service.
And that's the thing. Fan service done bad ruins an anime.
It at least had a decent amount of action, though.
Did it?
I mean, I'm not going to try and defend it too much, but given that all they showed in the previews was fan service,
and that's pretty much the entire series. It's fan service with splashes of action going through it, and it's not the best.
No, definitely not. It was worth it for $10 just to see what it was about, but
yeah,
beats the $10 I spent on air.
Let's break it down a little bit for a second and just like talk about what is Lynch? What is your favorite off the top of your head? What's your favorite anime?
Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah,
no hesitation.
No hesitation. Edge?
Oh, I'd have to say my favorite anime is probably Mirai Nikki, also known as The Future Diary.
Oh, okay.
It's a good one.
I haven't seen all of that yet, but I have seen all Cowboy Bebop. Cowboy Bebop is a good choice. Personally, Escaflowne.
It's a good one.
Escaflowne is so good.
Old one.
Yeah, Escaflowne was actually the anime that got me into anime.
Me too, actually.
Because it was on Kids WB at like 3:30 in the
Fox
afternoon.
Kids. Yeah.
And I'd run home from school to watch Escaflowne and Yu-Gi-Oh!
Well,
Yes, agreed.
Those were some of the first. I mean, you had Escaflowne, you had Magic Knights Ray Earth, Dragon Ball, and Z.
Yeah, Z. Well, I mean, if we're going to go
Captors.
down... Yeah, I watched Card Captors a bit. I admit that. Now, I will admit, back in the day, I did watch Inuyasha.
Everybody did
I
it.
will always make the stipulation that the first season of Inuyasha was good.
It was good. I had a team.
And then it got Rumiko Takashi.
Well, honestly, even ignoring... I don't even see how she could have fucked it up. It was a moneymaker, and it really was a great story that she came up with. But it was the idea that it's... Okay, we need to go over here to get this to beat this guy. Okay, we got that. And it doesn't work. Oh, because we have to go over here now and charge it or some shit. Okay, so we do that. And it still doesn't work. How many times do you have to walk back and forth?
You're welcome to Rumiko Takashi just to keep the fucking thing going.
Exactly. End it. You know, he got the sword. He can kill Muraku, I think his name was.
Yeah, something. Whatever.
Naraku.
Naraku?
Thank you.
Yeah.
See, I remember these things.
Yeah.
That's right. It's Moroka. And
Moroku is the pervy
pervert.
one. The
Yeah.
pervy one.
Yeah. What? You know what? I remember on AdultSwim.com there was an Inuyasha fighting game.
Yep.
Yeah.
But there's Inuyasha fighting games. There was at least one RPG.
Yeah.
Most action.
Well, this was a web browser one back in the day, like when I was.
Oh, so they had a PlayStation fighter.
Did they? Okay. This was like when you used like your. I forget how it played, but this was like when I was in middle school.
Speaking of like web browser games based on anime, the Attack on Titan web browser game.
There's an Attack on Titan web
Yes,
browser?
it's a fan made project.
No
and
shit.
it's fantastic, and they have been building this for a couple, like I think 2 years now. And they continually release updates to it, and because the first one was just attack Titans. You have your 3D maneuver gear. You chose your character and you just kill Titans. Then they released like the Battle of Trost.
I haven't seen the show.
They introduced special Titan, like the Armor Titan, the Female Titan, the Colossal Titan, and then they started putting missions in later. It's so good.
Earth, we really should sit down and watch Attack on Titan. I only saw a few episodes of it. My biggest problem with it, I read a lot of the manga, and we're going to spend a lot of time introducing this character, and then this character, this character, this character, and then in the next chapter, they're all going to die off.
They Gur Martin it. They Gur Martin it. Very much, because somebody went through, there's a picture out there of 8 volumes of Attack on Titan, and they cataloged every death in it, and it's just this. It's a couple books with like 1 billion tabs in the books, and the second picture is just Gur Martin sitting there going, "I approve of this series."
Gur Martin. You call him Gur?
George R. Martin.
Yes,
just call him Gur Martin.
Gur Martin. I've never heard anyone do Gur Martin. EBS, yeah. Just George R. R. Martin, Game of Thrones. That's not good on that. I don't want to read about books.
But no, Attack on Titan is it's a lot like the way that I've explained it to people is that it's a lot like a anime style of The Walking Dead and Game of Thrones, where the humans are always on the losing side, and it's a nonstop battle against the Titans, and people die. People die left and right.
Well, that was kind of it. I mean, when the show was originally announced, when the show was originally announced and there wasn't a whole lot of information on it, it sounded boring to me. It sounded like, okay, you got these people with these 3D dimension gears, they can just fucking kill these Titans, one person. I mean, it's pretty typical for most anime. You've got the hordes and the heroes. One hero can take out, a quarter of the horde. So it just sounded boring, but that was kind of what it proved me wrong. Yeah. When one Titan can take out
a whole
10 soldiers.
Like a platoon.
Exactly.
Like you take the platoon of like the three of the soldiers and send it against one Titan. There's no guarantee that platoon will make it back.
Exactly. It's definitely dark. It really reminds me of like I guess it is part of the Goro genre. It really reminds me of things like Berserk and other manga along those lines.
Yeah. It's very graphic and it is pleasant to see that there are companies out there that are willing to take that risk on showing like that mature, the mature stuff. Because that's what I was missing for such a long time in anime is where it was all like this. It was all this your typical shonen. The hero will always prevail and honor and ethics and whatnot. And then there was such a lack of people like in like a realistic situation going, well, shit, how am I going to deal with this without like just like survive?
Kind of speaking of, I know there's, at the moment at least, there's no plans for an anime for it, but a series called Cage of Eden, which you guys should check out.
I've heard of Cage of Eden.
It's about a large plane that's coming back from, I think it was Guam, going back to Japan, that crash lands on a deserted island.
Okay.
The island's off the maps, and it's full of like prehistoric creatures. Now, when they said prehistoric creatures, I was immediately thinking, oh great, this is the anime version of Jurassic Park. They decided to go with the mammal side. So it was interesting to see a lot of creatures that really most people don't know about.
Yeah.
And again, done very...
So they do kind of like Jurassic Park meets Lord of the Flies.
Kind of. But again, exactly. They chose to show a really, really dark side of humans. I mean, there's most of those shonen stories where shit goes down and the people... Exactly. It's, well, we got to stick together. We got to do this. There's people that are getting, murdered by each other. There's people that are getting raped. When was the last time you read a manga that people get raped?
Battle Royale.
Well, okay, yeah.
And that was, what, 15 years ago?
Wolf Guy Okami. That's dark. Don't ever read that.
It's these little things like that where, yes, I don't condone rape, but shit happens.
You don't condone it, and... It happens, and a lot with some of these that do it right. With the ones that do it right, it's very needed because it shows what humanity's capable of under certain situations, and it shouldn't be condoned, but it's it's realistic.
Exactly, it's not. Hey, we're a bunch of teenage boys stuck on an island. And we think we're gonna die, and we're not gonna look at the opposite sex that way. It doesn't seem real.
Yeah, especially in this day and age where you hear about so many different rape cases and the whole quote unquote rape culture.
Oh God.
Where like it's well within the realm of possibility to you strand a bunch of people on an island. This might actually happen. Like rape is like a possibility.
Well, yeah, you scare the ever living shit out of them. Especially with these creatures that are bearing down on them, it's not like they can even create "quote unquote" like their own society. They're constantly being attacked by these things. They have pretty much no shelter, no security, other than just relying on picking. I guess you'd say the most charismatic, the leaders amongst them to lead. And yeah, hell, by the time I finished reading and I was just kind of like, I need to take a break.
Yeah.
They had been on the island for a year.
Wow.
Like, I started reading Batum. And that, it was very much, it's a Hunger Games Battle Royale style, last person standing wins. And it dealt with some of the whole, it dealt with blowing people up. Everyone got bombs and you tried to blow people up. And there were people that didn't want to play and got fucking killed for it. Because they didn't want to accept the reality that they had to fucking go out and kill people, and then they just got gacked themselves. And it was very much it was a decent look at the human psyche of like what would humans actually like be like in that situation where like Battle Royale did that well. The Hunger Games not so much because they kept it young adult, whereas Battle Royale was definitely for a mature audience.
I think the first more like violent, more mature anime I ever saw was probably, I want to say, Blue Gender, with the bugs and humanity had to like retreat to space, and they were trying to bring back those people who were infected with that disease. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That was a good anime, and that's like one of those old ones that I really enjoyed when I was a kid. That really helped craft my the things that I like to watch. It was one of those ones that really got me into it.
Actually, kind of funny that you bring up Blue Gender, because one of the new series that has started releasing this season is called Terraformers, and I'll read the description here. I haven't had a chance to check it out yet, but it says, with Earth becoming increasingly overpopulated, an ambitious plan has been put into place to terraform Mars using mold and cockroaches. Nearly 500 years after the plan, a mission to Mars, Annex 1, is underway to accomplish critical research into the virus currently plaguing mankind, with the crew members who have been injected with various DNA of life on Earth in order to wow, that's a huge run-on sentence. Yeah. In order to combat the terraformers' giant humanoid cockroaches.
Is that Wikipedia?
No, this is actually CrunchyRoll.
Wow. Wow. Well, depends on who wrote the thing.
But I mean, right there again, same idea. They're mentioning again that they're leaving Earth. You've got the virus, and you've got giant
bugs,
mutant cockroaches.
Yeah, the Blue Gender was a good one. Chrome Shelled Regios was another good one.
Yeah, I love Chrome Shelled Regios.
But the one that got me really introduced into like the whole, like more of like the mature, like mature genres was Akira.
Oh,
anyway,
well,
like people our age, that's where it began. That's where it began for us. It was Akira, Vampire Hunter D. That was really dark and and violent. Even Ghost in the Shell was pretty violent.
It was, but I never really got into Ghost in the Shell.
It was more of a whole. It was more questioning what is humanity than anything else.
Yes, which is a good question to ask.
One of the best for me. It wasn't quite as dark, but it definitely was gritty, and the message spoke volumes. Saikano. Yeah, that was really good. I really enjoyed Saikano. I enjoyed the manga ending better than the very true. The manga definitely did not hold any punches like the anime did.
What was Saikano? Was that about the girl who was turned into a weapon?
Yep.
Okay. I never finished that.
It was another good one where it was just the normal high school boy and this normal high school girl decide to try and have a relationship, and then World War III happens, and they're trying, and it's the story of them trying to going through a war, and then the girl getting pulled out and be turned into the answer weapon. And then the question of, is she still human, or is she a machine? Is she just a weapon now? And they deal with the end of the world at the end of the series.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, even just the questions, the story, the personal story between the two main characters is great, but even just ignoring that, the whole idea of, again, the whole world going to war over resources, there's not many times in an anime where humanity's looking at the end, and I'm sitting here as the reader going, I really don't think we deserve to live through this.
Saikano was one of those where you're reading or watching and going, wow, we're terrible. Humanity's kind of terrible.
Oh, man. To go into a lighter subject, I'm going to pull this up, because I know this is going to get the exact kind of reactions I'd like to see from my two co-hosts.
Yes,
it is Toradora.
God, do I love Toradora.
It's probably the best rom-com anime.
Agreed.
It's really good. It's I don't even know how to explain it. I did a review on it once, and it really is one of the best rom-com animes.
And it is going to be hilarious that both of those characters are showing up in the Dengeki Bunko fighting game.
Are they as playable characters, or
Taiga's a playable and Ryuji's an assist?
Okay. Taiga makes more sense as a fighter. Yeah.
I honestly don't even see how Ryuji's going to be an assist, but
Honestly, it would be funny if he came up with like a laundry basket and like knocked someone over or something. Just
Hits him with a mop.
hits him with a mop. Yeah, so just something because he's the
I guess
he's the OCD neat freak.
yeah.
I guess I should kind of explain a little bit. There is a fighting game. Any of you that are both anime fans and game players,
2D fighting fans.
but there is going to be a 2D fighting game called Dengeki Bunko Fighting Climax on the PlayStation 3, releasing in I think late November. That is,
I believe it's like November 17th.
It's characters from Dengeki Bunko, which is a publishing company in Japan. They mostly publish light novels, so it's a bunch of their light novel characters in a 2D fighter. So you've got characters from Sword Art, Toradora,
Irregular.
Regular Magic High, Black Bullet, Strike the Blood.
I liked Strike the Blood.
There's a lot of characters. There's a lot of characters. We should post the link to that.
We should.
I'll remember it when I do the edit. But yeah, Black Bullet was good. The ending was kind of meh.
I never watched more than like an episode of Black Bullet personally.
I agree with you there. Again, it's a rant I've had. I don't think we need to go over it again, but
it's like the ending was such a inverse to what the rest of the series was. And it happened within like the last 10 minutes where it was such a reversal of character that it just felt wrong. And it's like they're trying to set up the second season, and it didn't really work at the end.
You know what, guys? Do you want to try and get flamed in the first episode?
Fuck yeah, let's do this. We haven't gotten any hate mail on the other one, so I need some hate mail.
Okay, so we'll keep the flame shields down and I'm just going to say it outright then. I fucking hate Death Note.
I was going to say that earlier. I was going to say, which mainstream anime do we each hate?
What can we hate on?
I was going to say Death Note.
I was watching recently, and I'll have to get you the link. Some woman did a review, top 10, what the fuck anime endings. And it's like number 2 or 3, she put Death Note. The moment I saw that, I was like, you actually made it to the end?
So she made it to like episode 8?
God, I gave up
of a 24 episode series?
I gave up by, episode 2, 3, maybe?
I watched the
when
whole
it just
first
got
season.
ridiculous.
I got like 4 episodes in, and then I said, fuck this, because it was very, like, the detective work wasn't really detective work. It was just the fucking, L going, hey, it's that guy. And the entire police force going, hey, it's that guy! Because he's a genius detective and he doesn't actually have to have evidence to prove or have anything other than a hunch.
Most of his quote-unquote detective's intuition, the half the shit he came up with, you couldn't prove it.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, some of it, okay, yes, you could kind of figure in that general way that he was thinking, okay, yeah, it could be that area. You couldn't narrow it down like he did. The way he narrowed it down, it's like this is the writer just saying, hey, I want to force confrontation quick.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not a good series. It really just is not a good series. It would have been great if they actually
it just
made it a detective series and not Detective Conan.
Oh god, fuck that. You know, it might not have been as bad too if we weren't going through the goddamn emo culture at the same time. I think that's what really made it bad.
Oh, that's my description of Death Note. It's the hot topic of anime.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, considering Hot Topic sold all of their shit.
It looked like they all shopped at Hot Topic.
Yeah.
That fucking faux, like, goth and emo.
The goth loli emo chick.
Yeah, all of them. They looked like they shopped at goddamn Hot Topic.
They all did, though.
Which was kind of funny because Light I think that was his name, Light, the main character.
Yeah, Light.
He was supposed to be this, model. What kind of parents...
Like, he's supposed to be this model student, like this upstanding model student that just...
with a police father, with
Yeah.
a detective father. Why the fuck did he look like he did?
Bad.
Character design was awful.
And the story was bad.
Music was probably bad.
There's probably a bunch of fucking Fallout Boy and shit.
I don't even know. I don't remember. I blocked
Panic
it
at
all
the Disco.
out.
I don't know. It's bad. It's not good.
I will, if we're gonna get some hate, I will say, One Piece is annoying, Bleach is shit, and Naruto is still okay.
Naruto the manga may be good, but Naruto the anime is ass. It's absolutely ass.
I'm not going to talk too much about this. Again, if people want to watch them, go for it.
Read the Naruto manga if you really want to.
Yes, agreed.
Don't watch the anime because they make a mockery of what DBZ did.
Yeah. But the manga is really good, and it's very much worth your time. Bleach was great for a while, and then it kind of got to the non-ending syndrome where it just did not end.
Tito Kube decided he needed
to milk it.
More money.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm going to go on a small side right now. Now that you've brought up Bleach, why the fuck, if he decided he wanted more money and wanted to create a longer running, wanted to keep these series going, why the fuck didn't you just end Bleach when it was logical and keep writing Zombie Powder?
I know, right? God damn it. That was such a good series. And it would have been so good. And then it just stopped. Because
3 volumes.
It just stopped. The story was fantastic. I don't really have much else to say.
There's really no point describing it. It's dead.
Yeah, it's dead. Yeah. It lasted for such a short amount of time that it's so infuriating.
If people want to know what we're talking about, just look up Zombie Powder. See if you can find it on a manga reader. But don't get your hopes up. I mean, honestly, I'm going to recommend don't look at it because you'll be pissed.
Here's one that I want to hate on, and I'm hoping I get some flack for. Fuck Black Butler.
I do not like Black Butler either.
It's such shit. It's the hot topic of anime too.
No, I'd say it is an E-rated hentai. Well, E-rated yaoi hentai.
Yeah.
Agreed.
It's not. It's terrible. The characters are worst. The everything is solved by the butler being fucking goddamn Superman. Because whatever problem they face, the butler will take care of it.
Isn't he like a demon or something?
He's a demon.
Yeah. And that's the problem. It's like, you can't have this character that just solves every problem. Because then there's no problem to overcome.
I'm sure they probably answer that in the show, but yeah, it really is kind of...
As far as I could see, because I got through 12 episodes, and like, it was still the same thing over and over again, where, what was his name, Ciel or something like that? Got like kidnapped or something like that, or
I don't know.
There was some trouble, some conflict.
I didn't like the weird, creepy vibes I got from the two of them, from the kid and the butler.
Where the butler felt like a kid toucher.
Yeah, I couldn't get past that, and it made me uncomfortable, and I didn't like watching it.
Yeah, it's not good. No, it's not good.
Yeah.
Don't disillusion yourself if you're watching it to think it's good. It's really just not good.
It's kind of funny that we've got somebody, one of our personal friends actually, that wants to cosplay as Sebastian. We'll just have to beat the shit out of him one day.
Who?
Nader.
Oh,
God.
Okay. No, I can see Nader. No, because he's not. Yeah.
Well, he's kind of effeminate.
He was talking about cross-dressing the other day.
More power to him.
Well, he's got a bet going on for the Halloween.
Okay.
And his solution is to crossplay and think of that character as like a LARP character and just be in character all day.
Oh, God. For
the entire party.
Cross-dressing's bad enough without adding acting into it. Either way.
Yeah. On a side note, I just want to, for some reason that this popped into my head, but one of my favorite manga / anime, it was called Nararhia no Mago. The first season's good. The second season changed up the art style a bit, so I didn't particularly enjoy the second season, but the manga is really good all the way through, and it's not very long. It's only 210 chapters, so it's actually a pretty easy read, compared to some of the monsters out there nowadays that go 500-600 chapters plus. But the author started a new series called Illegal Rare, which is a lot grittier than Nararhion, and it's actually really good and definitely worth keeping an eye on, because I think if Illegal Rare does well, it could make quite an intriguing anime one day, and with his success with the with Nararian being made into anime, I wouldn't be surprised if another year or two from now, Illegal Rare got turned into an anime. And Illegal Rare's got a cool premise. It's about basically an organization that protects rare creatures.
You've told me about that.
I've told you about it. I don't know if Lynch has checked it out or heard of it.
I've heard of it. I'm actually looking that up right now.
Oh, if they're getting an anime?
No, I'm just seeing if I can remember it by. I've heard of it.
Picture.
By a picture because I'm on a reader site just to see. I don't remember that one. So.
It's quite good. There's only 5 or 6 chapters out that are translated into English. But I think there's 20-something chapters out now in Japan, possibly. But it's quite good, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where it's going.
I think the last manga I'm going to bring up, last anime I'm going to bring up before I'm going to try and change the subject on you guys after we all have our last says. I honestly, and Lynch knows what I'm talking about here, and I really do need to show you this as well, Earth, at some point, Mushibugyo. Honestly, I think that had everything. It had everything it needed. The art style, the story, the characters. It could have been another great. It could have easily filled a spot from either Naruto or Bleach when they're gone.
Mm-hmm. And with Naruto, that's not going to be much longer.
No, well, that was exactly it. Is about when it came out was when those two looked like they were starting to wind down.
Mm-hmm.
But it only went 26 episodes and then stopped.
Really?
Yep. We haven't seen hide nor hair of it since.
Huh? What's it about?
It's about pretty much giant man-eating insects that
invade feudal
Edo.
Yeah.
And the
freaky
government organization that takes care of them. That was part 1, which again was nice, simple, straightforward. Part 2 introduced human insect hybrids, which brought about almost a Hunter x Hunter / again Bleach aspect where you had these huge powerhouse battles. I mean, hell, one of the episodes between the Onmyoji, the little kid, and one of these insect warriors, the kid launches the thing into outer space. He literally sends it into orbit.
Whoa!
So, I mean, it literally had everything it would need to be a big name shonen show.
Yeah.
And it just
stopped.
it just stopped.
They might be doing their 2-year in between because that's what the Sword Art did. That's what Attack on Titan's doing.
I can only hope.
You brought up Sword Art. Sword Art was okay, but I'm just gonna put my foot down and say, don't watch Sword Art. Watch Log Horizon.
Yeah, really. Well, no. Watch Sword Art Online. Just watch the first, watch the Sword Art and the Alfheim Online arcs because they're beautifully animated. It's some of the most beautiful animation that you ever see.
It is pretty.
The story's okay, but you're not watching Sword Art for the story. You're watching it for the gorgeous animation. And it's some of the best, cleanest. It's fantastic animation. And then Sword Art Online 2 came out, and I started watching that because, well, hell, I like Sword Art. And they just transferred it over to Gun Gale Online now, which is a new game realm that they're playing in, where it's gunfighting. So I was expecting this beautiful animation, like this John Woo style, gorgeous, gunfights going on, and so far it hasn't happened. There hasn't been that singular action scene where the jaw just hits the floor and go, I can't believe that somebody animated that. And it just hasn't happened because they're too busy whining about PTSD. Everybody in the show has PTSD now that they never went to therapy for, even though it's been years after all these incidents that happened to have caused the PTSD.
Which is kind of surprising, just to interject real quick. If, you've had years in between these games, they've got PTSD, and obviously PTSD caused by these games, why would they go back to another game?
Agreed.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, Ed, do you want to finish my beer?
Bleep that out.
You want to finish my beer?
Yeah, sure.
But that's the thing with it, where they go back to these games. I can see one part of it because they introduced the world seed where they take everyone's computer acts as part of the server network for a new MMO universe.
Yeah.
And you can create whatever. It's open source. You create whatever world you want to. And the characters from Sword Art are using it as a final closure piece because they recreate Aincrad to beat it to find that closure.
Yeah, I remember that. That was the very end episode of Sword Art.
Spoiler. But the new series is terrible because it's just a bunch of whining about these past events that they never got therapy for, and it's annoying because they tried to bring the more personal and story-driven introspective into Sword Art, and they lost what they were. On the other hand, Log Horizon has been fan-fucking-tastic. Because Log Horizon it's another trapped in a virtual MMO style anime where, was it 30,000 people from Japan, the Japan servers get stuck in Japan. In the Japanese
Log Horizon?
Log Horizon.
Oh, yeah.
And it's everything that Sword Art
should have been.
Because they asked the question of okay, so these 30,000 people just got dropped into this world with no way to get out.
Mm-hmm.
How does society function?
Yes.
There is no society right now. How did they build a society? And that's part of the first arc is them just trying to find a way to build something.
Create a cohesive pseudo-government in this town, in this main city in the game.
Yeah, and you can see it because they travel to find other guild members of the guilds where most of the main characters are stuck. So they travel to these other towns, and you see what happened to these other towns where they're taken over by these high-level characters that just have their way with the town. And it's run like a third world country. Basically.
Yeah. It's terrible, and I loved the fact that they brought about the whole people of the land, the turning the NPCs, because it's true, the NPCs are the indigenous population. Mm-hmm. The player characters are the invaders. They're foreign. They're alien. And it brought this whole interesting aspect and thought process to something that no one had ever really considered before, and it was beautiful.
It's so good because it does address a lot of the things where you would have questions about what would happen, because they have to establish an economy, a government, a way to interact with the people, the indigenous peoples. Mm-hmm. Like even some of the things like where it was a game, like special yearly events that happen within the game are still happening within this world. But they're so busy, preoccupied with trying to form a society and figuring out an economy that they forget about these world events that happen that threaten the world if the adventurers don't take care of it.
Don't take care of them. And it causes alliances with the people of the land, with kingdoms, and recognizing their own society. It gets really intense by the end of the first season. It's quite good. I'm really thoroughly looking forward to its continuation.
It just started.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
Is it on Crunchy?
Yep.
Yo, we have to watch it.
That's a waveform. But I watched the first episode yesterday.
How was it?
It's so good. They're going to be starting an economic war. It's so good. Listen, we're getting excited over geopolitical.
Let's see, here we go, grown men squeeing.
But we're squeeing over geopolitical confrontations.
Seriously though, I just cannot express how good and well thought out Log Horizon is. And Shiroi, the main character, he's so compelling. He's so human. But he's also intelligent. But he's not God, and he has faults.
And a lot of the time, he's viewed as the bad guy.
Yes, he's kind of an anti-hero, which adds very intriguing plot elements.
And like to create, and Shiroi's the one that establishes the society and they're stuck in Akihabara. And it's he's the one that really makes the movement to establish a society there.
Yeah.
And he does some underhanded dealings to do it.
Yes, he does, but he does it for the good.
Yeah. And he does it so that everybody who's living there has a better life in Akiba. Like, not just the select few, but everybody.
And he doesn't play favorites. He does it for the good of everyone. And a lot of people think poorly of him because they don't understand him.
Yeah, and because he doesn't really tell anybody what he's doing. He just goes out and does it.
And he's humble, so he's not gonna brag. He's not gonna take the credit. He's not gonna take the limelight. He's just gonna do what needs to be done.
Okay, you guys...
we're splooging ourselves.
So you guys done riding Log Horizon's dick by now?
We're done riding Log Horizon's log. I should get out for that one.
Wanted to bring up, I guess I'd say, our main point. Just something I was thinking of a couple of days ago. You guys' takes on the transition from manga or light novel to anime. I mean, it's something that, again, some series do well. Again, my favorite series being Future Diary. It was, 52 chapters turned into 26 episodes. And perfect conversion.
It can be done very well. That's what happened with Sword Art. Sword Art was originally a light novel. Log Horizon's a light novel.
Was it? Okay, that makes sense.
It's getting a U.S. release next year.
Oh, a light novel is?
Yep. People are actually finally starting to translate light.
Yeah, they're starting to translate light novels.
I'm going to read it.
Especially for the big name animes, because that's where they get the West interest from it, is you watch the anime and they'll look at those numbers, and then if they get good numbers, they'll start translating to light novels.
Yeah, I would love to read like an irregular light novel.
Oh yeah,
I can see that happening. Probably not next year, but the year after.
Agreed. Irregular is quite a good anime, though. I'm looking forward to the next season of that.
I think that's the start. That's a big trend that's starting to happen in anime, where we're getting the anime adaptation of a light novel now instead of a manga adaptation.
It's happening a lot more commonly now.
A lot more commonly.
But I mean, there's been so many cases. I mean, normally it seems to play out like, like the movies. If you watch a movie and then read the book, or vice versa, read the book, watch the movie, there are so many times where you're just kind of disappointed.
Yeah. Aww. But honestly, I watched the TV show and then read the book. And
that's the proper order to do it.
Yeah, the TV show got me to read the books, and I enjoyed the TV show, but then the books were like, oh man, these are so good.
Yeah. It's just that a lot of times between the book and the TV show, or the light novel and the anime, or the manga and the anime, you have to kind of take them individually. You have to look at the anime as the anime of this, and then you have to look at the book as the book of the same thing. You have to look at it as two separate things, because one can be very, very descriptive, as in the book, and the other one has to find a way to tell the same story in a condensed format.
Oh, I definitely agree, and I'm definitely. I know there's a lot of people out there that would hate me saying this, but I really like when they decide to change things up. I really do not like necessarily watching the same exact thing I've read.
It depends on how well they work the changes into the story, because you can have it like where you can have a bad movie. Yeah. Negima. Ender's Game.
Ender's Game.
That movie was terrible. It was worst.
It was so bad. I got so mad watching that movie.
And that's something that you have to be very discerning about when you're watching, is that you can take these adaptations, but some of them might be very bad.
Timeline. By Michael Crichton. Anyone ever read that?
Let's stick to anime.
Oh, that's right. You brought up Ender's Game.
I did, but it
was just kind of snuck in there.
I snuck it in there. But yeah, I see it. I like that there's branching out on their source material for anime.
I agree.
Yeah. I just wanted to kind of throw it out there, see if you guys had any that you really liked, any that you really hated. I mean, again, personally, I love what they did with Mirai Nikki. It follows the manga pretty exactly, so if you read it or watch it, you're getting the exact same story. But then on the, again, opposite side, you have, honestly, all of Ken Akamatsu's works.
Yeah.
Megima, Love Hina, god-awful translations from
god-awful
manga to anime.
I don't really know because I don't really do a whole lot of research on what was a light novel first.
Yeah.
But it depends on how well they pull off the series.
What did you ever? I forget what it's called. Let me. It's like Golden Child of Sakuraso or something like that.
Pet Girl of Sakuraso?
Yes, Pet Girl of Sakuraso. I enjoyed the anime, but then I researched the light novel, and apparently there are a lot of changes, and apparently the author really shit the bed on the ending and like really made the main character a schmuck. And a lot of weird stuff happened between some of the characters, and then the directing staff of the anime focused more on the side girl, and I don't know. Overall, though, the anime's fun to watch.
I really did like the Pet Girl Sakurazo. I read the description for it when I was perusing, and I was like, I don't want to watch. Why would I ever want to watch this?
I put it off for months. I didn't want to watch it, but then I finally gave it a chance, and I'm like, wow, this is weird. I like it.
Yeah, it got to the point where it's like, I don't have anything else to watch right now.
Agreed.
I'll give this
Give it a shot.
Because it always, when I was scrolling through the list, it was always that one that was like, I wonder.
Yeah, this is exactly how I felt about it. And then finally I gave it a shot, and I was like, oh crap, this is fun.
Yeah, this is actually decent.
Yeah.
But as far as like light novel ones, I can't think of one off the top of my head where it was like, this is good or this is bad compared to the...
Well, I think there's just not that many translated light novels at the moment, so there really is nothing to compare it to.
Well, I mean, we can easily talk, bad manga adaptations. I mean, I'm trying to think of any that pop off my
Full Metal Alchemist.
the original.
Well, they also finished the anime before the manga was done. Finished, so they just kind of made shit up at the end.
They totally did.
Along the same lines, you could say Hellsing.
They made shit up at the end because Hellsing. It was very much there was that point where you could tell that they ran out of source material and just started making shit up. And they're fixing it with they fixed it with Hellsing Ultimate.
Yeah.
Same thing they did with Full Metal Alchemist, where they came out with Brotherhood,
which is so good.
And the thing with Brotherhood is I would recommend watching the first Full Metal Alchemist first, and then watching Brotherhood to get
perspective.
To get perspective, and to get a lot of the first half of the series. The Major Hughes story.
Yeah,
you can see both sides of the Hughes story in the first half of both seasons, because in the first one they focus on Hughes, and then in Brotherhood they focus on Hughes's family. So you see both sides of Hughes, and when that one scene happens, it just hurts all the more.
My mom actually started crying when she saw that, and it was very interesting. She's like, it's silly. I'm crying over an animated character, and I'm like, Mom, that's the thing. It's not silly. It's beautiful. It's an art form. It's because it's real to you, because these are really well crafted characters. It's the same as crying over a book.
Or a movie.
Or any movie.
Yeah.
Well, it's pretty much empathy. And
yes.
It's not limited to living, breathing humans. No. You can fall, quote unquote, in love with a character, a concept, as much as you can another person. So
it's cool to see my mother, who's like outside of this generation of anime watchers, to really become attached to an anime character and become that emotional. It was very nice, but and a testament to how well written Hughes was as a character and portrayed, and his death was very poignant and meaningful as far as the part of the overarching story.
We should have said spoilers worst.
Fuck it. If you haven't figured out spoilers by now, then we're gonna talk spoilers. I'll put a spoiler alert.
Yeah, I'll put a spoiler alert.
I'm gonna make the YouTube video anyway, so I'll put a spoiler alert. But yeah, this brings me to something I would like to talk about. It's like, what anime out there has gotten to you where you felt that urge to just kind of cry?
Ooh.
I'll start it off. Psychono.
Nah,
that one hurt. At the end, the ending hurt. It hurt. The end of Cowboy Bebop hurt.
Yeah, I didn't cry. I'm trying to think. I really have to think about.
Honestly, two big ones for me. Angel Beats makes me sob like a bitch at parts.
Angel Beats is, oh god, it's so...
It's such an amazing anime all around, but it is depressing as fuck sometimes. And other than that, I'd say, honestly, Guilty Crown. The ending to Guilty Crown is about as depressing as you can get.
No. The most depressing that you can get is Grave of the Fireflies.
Never seen it.
That is liquid sorrow.
Liquid sorrow.
Because it tells the tale of these two homeless children in a post World War II Japan.
Aww.
It's honestly, that's something I can't even recommend people to watch.
Yeah.
No, I do recommend people to watch it because
watch it at least once. But
it is such a well done adaptation of what life was like in Japan. Like
after World War II,
at the tail end of World War II, when we were bombing the shit out of Japan,
you know,
and basically the collapse of the Japanese Empire.
Yeah,
it's definitely a good movie, but dear fucking god,
Jinro is another one.
Jinro.
The Wolf Brigade.
Okay, yeah,
it's that dystopian society where the Wolf Brigade is this armored soldier, and they're trying to put down the rebellion in a dystopian Japan. And there's scenes in there that are just like where they meet this like little 12-year-old kid, a suicide bombing kid, who's fed up with the government, with the corruption of the government, and they got sucked in by the rebellion to do something about it. And it's such a dark, gritty, depressing, like, just look at a society that's fallen.
For me, I actually mentioned this to Edge the other day. I don't know if I think I asked you if you ever saw Beyond the Boundary, but the end of Beyond the Boundary made me cry. Just because of, I won't spoil this one because, I mean, it's kind of expected, but it hit me hard, and just like the music and the animation, it is stunningly gorgeous in Beyond the Boundary, and it hit me really hard. I wasn't expecting it, and I started to tear up.
Yeah.
But as far as manga goes, which is what I read more of, there was one manga. I think it was called Hanato Akuma, which is like flowers and demons, basically. And it's a cute little story about this demon prince who finds a little baby outside of like his castle and raises her, and they fall in love, blah, 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 stuff happens, they get married, and then the final chapter of the main story is his kids coming home from school, and then like they're talking, and then you see him talking to her, quote unquote, but he's actually talking to her grave because she's been dead for a couple of years, and he spent her entire life together. Like, he raised her as a child and then fell in love. They married, they had children, and he stayed with her as she grew old and eventually died. And one of the whole main points of the story was that because he was a demon, he could never hold flowers, but her love enabled him to hold flowers. And you saw him holding one at the very end, and I cried. It was too sweet. It was just so beautiful, and it really hit me, and I was like, ah.
I'm going to say one that I'm pretty sure that it's going to hit anyone who's ever seen Trigun. Wolfwood's Death.
I was going to say that, actually.
Wolfwood's Death I'm pretty sure it got everybody who's ever seen Trigun. It's so heart-wrenching, that his death scene is just... And then Millie's reaction afterwards.
Yeah. And honestly, the version of it in the manga is just as tough, and possibly even more so, because it's different. For those of you who don't know, Trigun the anime does not completely encompass the full story of Trigun, and to get the entire unaltered story, you have to read the entire manga. But Wolfwood's Death is a very, very rough one, because Wolfwood is just this compelling pseudo anti-hero that kind of grounds Vash and kind of pulls him out of his idealistic views of humanity and the world and really shows him, kind of sets him on his true path in the end.
Enough depressing stuff.
Yeah.
We're at hour 10 minutes so far.
Okay.
So whenever we feel like stopping.
I wasn't sure, like, do we want to do like an hour and a half? Do we want to do 2 hours? Like,
I'd like to do about like an hour or so. It depends on how much of a conversation we get going, really.
Yeah. I mean, we still have anything to talk about, but
I just didn't want to like overdo it and like exhaust a lot of stuff because if we're going
this is going to be a monthly thing.
I wasn't sure if it was going to be like a weekly or a
it's going to be like a
monthly.
It's going to be a monthly thing, so we have time to like watch things.
Yeah,
and talk about it.
you know what?
Oh, by the way, this is a monthly podcast.
I mean, if it gets off the ground, maybe we could turn it into a bi-monthly.
Yeah.
Something actually. What do you guys think about anime that I guess we'll say is gone for now, but say was from, let's say, last season, maybe 2 seasons ago? Things that you'd like to see come back. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, not to interrupt you, but No Game, No Life.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would love to see more.
No Game, No Life is so good.
Gargantua on the Virtuous Planet.
No, because they kind of ended that, and it wasn't. It was good. Gargantua on the Virtuous Planet was good, but it went into that whole main character waffling thing where his entire life, and his only purpose has been war.
Yeah.
And he's just convinced by like this little 14-year-old girl telling him not to kill anything.
Well, he's only like 16, so he's gonna get strayed by boobs.
All he knows is war and killing.
Yeah.
And then she's convinced by just the hey, don't kill things. Okay, I'm not going to kill things.
I think there's more to it than that. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. The whole prospect of it was fascinating. Finding out where the Hideous came from, that they were created by created by man was very interesting.
It ended well. Like the series was complete. I don't see it. I would like to see another story within it, but I don't.
Maybe like an OVA, adding more to it. But maybe not another season. But I would like to see more. I wish it would have been longer. I wish it would have been more than just 13 episodes?
Yeah, 13 episodes.
Yeah.
There's one that I would like to see again, and I completely forgot. It's something Blue Steel, something like that.
Blue Steel.
Not the look.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing something.
Arpeggio of Blue Steel.
That's it. Yes.
It's so good. It hit home in every respect for myself, at least, because it's old World War II naval combat with the whole sci-fi element where this invading alien force is basically a sentient AI, and they come down and take the form of World War II naval ships.
Oh,
like diesel submarines, big battleships, cruisers, destroyers, and it's humanity trying to fight back against them, and it was such a well done story where he's trying. This one captain wins over a sub, and it's the naval combat is so good.
Yeah, remind me of that one. I'll check it out. One that I really want to see more of, and I know the manga is finished, but I want to see more of the anime adaptation, is Tonari no Kaibutsu-kun, which in my mind is kind of along the same lines of Toradora, where it's a really quirky rom-com, but there's also dramatic elements to it, and it's just off the walls and a lot of fun. I really, really enjoy Tonari no Kaibutsu-kun.
If we're going to talk rom-com, then I still just can't wait for the next season of my
teen romance comedy snafu.
I've never actually seen that.
It's the Daria of anime.
Is it really?
It is the Daria of anime.
Well, honestly, again, there are those anime that make you feel good. There's the anime that make you feel sad. Honestly, that anime
makes you feel like a piece of shit.
Well, no. In one sense, yes. But at the same time, that was empowering as shit. Because for somebody that likes to be alone, that was an anime that sat there and said, hey, you don't need to change. It's okay to be alone.
Yeah, it's very much it's geared towards more of like the antisocial people or like the introverts, to put it in the PC term. People who say fuck the rest of society. And it's very good. If you're a child of the '90s and you watched Daria, it very much is the anime version of Daria, because it's just a bunch of these cynical high schoolers where the school and society wants them to change and be these outgoing societal individuals and contribute to society and toe the line, and they're in the mindset of, no, fuck that. I'm going, the world's out to get me, so why should I be a part of why should I be a part of your society? Why can't I be myself within and just be me?
Oh yeah, it was, again, it's great. I mean, really, it's great.
And I've heard people say that they don't like it because it does that. It tells people, and it shows, and it's an anime that shows it's okay to have that small select group of friends and say, fuck you, I'm gonna be myself, and have that group of friends be okay with you just being you, and resisting the change of you to conform with society. It's such, and that's the complaint that I've had, is that it's not the typical anime.
Oh no, definitely not.
And apparently people want that, which is retarded.
Well,
that's right, I said retarded. It's retarded to want the same thing over and over again.
Well, again, it held true to its beliefs the whole time too. I mean, it didn't pull a sappy ending. It didn't try to have him suddenly realize that he was wrong this whole time. Hell, all the way
He stayed who he was.
All the way pretty much to the last episode.
Every character stayed pretty much true to their character all the way to the end.
And I don't, a big thing for me in any type of storytelling is I don't like character change without a cause or a progression. If it's done just for the sake of convenient storytelling, it's wrong. You gotta do it correctly. There has to be proper chronological character development.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that's the worst, when they just force a character change in just for the sake of it.
Yeah, I honestly can't stand it. It really ruins series for me.
It's just such a disconnect.
It is.
What are you writing down over there?
Just writing down some of the new series that look kind of interesting that are coming out.
Yeah, because we should probably, we're at 1:17, 1:18, so we should
wrap it up.
Think about wrapping it up soon.
I agree. How about we just, our final thoughts?
We'll do this we'll end with new series that we're looking at,
and we'll keep track of, and we'll talk about next time.
Yeah. And we'll keep on with the series. We'll try to stay current. Well, every episode we're gonna talk about the current seasons, but since the new season just started for us.
Yeah, there's really not much to talk about at the moment. I think that would be a good thing to start with each time we do this. Is
what's new?
The current, start with current season showings.
Exactly. Yeah, what just came out? What's going on? What we think of these anime? What we abandoned?
Yeah,
if it didn't turn out to be.
And then we can get into the other stuff, old school stuff.
Into the history of anime.
History of anime.
Well, I'll say honestly, again, I want to trample all over anime.
Oh, me too.
I want to go, talk about current shows, old shows. Hell, there's future shows that have, got the okay, they got the green light to go, but there's still no definite
Where
release.
are they?
I talked with both of you. I want to talk about anime and games, games that, anime that got games, anime that failed at games. Talk about, again, the culture.
Dot hack.
Hey, fuck you. No. Again, just the culture. As Earth was talking about a couple of days ago, the whole idea of a panty vending machine. We'll go into that.
We'll go. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna make a pun here. I want to talk about everything from A to Z. From I want to talk about everything from. Airmaster. No, not Airmaster.
Airmaster works.
Air Gear to Zoids.
That was terrible. Lynch, cut that out.
Air Gear was one of those weird ones. But let's not get into that. We can say that for next time.
Yeah, we'll save that for a later show.
But we can things that fully fall flat at the end of the anime or manga.
Yeah, but we can let's end this show with what's coming up in this current season and see what we're excited for, what we're hoping won't flop, what we hope will flop.
Well, we both
making a list, so I guess should go first. Or
Jesus Christ! Well,
Edge.
God, my list is looking fucking big.
Just pick and choose what's most exciting.
Well,
to you.
I mean, Cross Ange looks pretty good. Looking at that,
I did watch the first episode. So
yeah,
that's
as we talked about, Dengeki guy looks good. I showed Lynch, and I'll be showing Earth not too long from now. I can't understand what my husband is saying. It's
hilarious.
It's 3-minute shorts. It doesn't take a whole lot of time out of your day. Watch them. They're fucking insane.
Oh, kind of like Tonari no Seki-kun?
Exactly, but shorter.
It's
wow,
like that.
Shorter?
It's just they're 3-minute shorts.
Wow.
There's something called Aitenshi Muyo. I don't know if it's got any relation at all to the Tenchi Muyo series, but
I would assume so if it's using the name. By now that name's got to be
Battle Within. Battle Within actually sounds hilarious. It's about a 5-person literature club that all the members develop superpowers. There's nothing to fight.
Is it on Crunchyroll?
I don't know. It's apparently coming soon. I think the 6th, October 6th. But again, it just sounds hilarious because, as they said, there's nothing to fight. So it's just 5 literature club members with superpowers.
Oh, we're gonna watch that. We'll check that out. I think the one thing I'm most looking for is what Lynch and I were gushing about earlier is the second season of Log Horizon. That is what I am most intrigued by currently.
Right now I got the one I started watching today was Cross Ange.
Dengeki guy, right?
Rondo of Angel and Dragon. It's pretty good. It's very much a so far it's been like a mix between Infinite Stratos and like Black Bullet, where the outcasts are segregated, but they have to don fucking armor and god damn it, mecha to fight dragons.
Ooh, that's kind of crazy.
The first episode was just like an exposition episode of the main character, of like how the main character became one of the outcasts. It's really good. So far it's been really good. I'm hoping it stays just as good, and the animation quality is fantastic. The storytelling's been really good so far. I just hope it continues. Hope it's not one of the ones that I abandoned 5 episodes in because it just went to shit. A continuation of the End of Summer series is Akame ga Kill. It's been really good. I can't wait for the continuation of that because it's just a bunch of assassins.
Yes, the manga is great.
The rebel assassins and the imperial assassins pretty much squaring off for the fate of
the kingdom. Yeah.
There's that. I haven't really looked. World Trigger looks good. I was watching that earlier with Edge. That was really good. I enjoyed that. What else? I'm going through my Crunchyroll list because that's where I basically watch most of my anime. Because if I go outside of that, it's just getting too much to watch every week.
Yeah.
What the hell is this? Gugure Kokuri-san? That looks okay. It's some Fox thing. Don't know. I'm gonna watch everything. Here's the thing. I watch everything, and then whether I like it or not, it means if I take it past the fourth episode, and 4 months down the road, maybe you'll find out, or a couple months down the road, you'll find out what I've just completely abandoned and you shouldn't watch.
That's usually all we ask people. If I'm not going to tell you what to watch. I mean,
give it a chance.
My likes are different than yours, but exactly. give it 3 episodes. If you don't like it within 3 episodes, you're probably not going to like it.
It's just like with a book. You give it like 100 pages, and if you don't like it, or 50 pages, if you don't like it by then, drop it. There's no skin off our back. We're just here to give you examples, give you thoughts, things to think about, and things that you may want to look at and that you might like.
And I guess I'll leave you guys with the final nugget of wisdom. It'll be my turn today. Abandon your jobs and keep watching anime.
Stay in school.
What?
Stay in milk. Don't do school. Get 8 hours of drugs. Yeah, I think we're done.
I think we're good.
All right. This has been the first episode of the Shonen Show with Lynch,
Earth,
and Edge.
Bye now.
bye.
Later.